somebody says, weight for F-class may change scope, but would put me about 2 ounces over 22 pounds. In big matches, I guess they're all weight. How exact are they? As far as how precise are they? I mean, look, it's part of it's I don't want to say a moral thing. It's a sportsmanship thing. I Even though 99% of the matches I attend will never weigh a gun, I still make sure that I'm under that weight. Now, however, if you win or in the top, it's like 5 or 10, they're going to pull your gun at the end of the match and they're going to make you weigh it. There are some matches like V squared this year. I believe they're going to weigh ahead of time. Um, Nationals, depending on where it's held, will weigh everybody's gun ahead of time. On a properly weighed scale at Nationals, it needs to be 22 pounds or less, or 10 kilograms is the more precise way to weigh it. So, Jeff says, is the RAD 2A recoil device worth installing on an F-class rifle? For me, I haven't shot without a RAD for like 5 or 6 years, something like that. It's been quite a while since I've shot without a RAD. For the first time, I actually took my RAD off, just put a pad on and tried shooting it. And my torn rotator cuff reminded me why I have the RAD on there. So, um, it didn't hurt when I was shooting. Like, there's enough energy transfer that, I woke up this morning in some pretty good pain and I was like, well, that was enough for me. And the RAD went right back on. Do I need the RAD to shoot? Absolutely not. Like I still shot great, no issues. I don't need the RAD to shoot. I need the RAD to recover the next day. So that's why it's worth the money to me. A minute. Brendan has a very good question. When I saw this one came through, I thought, well, this is something I get asked about a lot, especially at matches. So he says, can you please explain what safe sighting is? We're just going to pretend this is any target you're shooting at, and we have a wind condition. We'll just say the wind is coming this way, and you hold center, and like shots are going in different places, but maybe it's building or it's letting off. And how many times do you're shooting and then, all of a sudden one goes downwind, right? So we're just going to say the wind is always coming from this side, no matter what the strength is, but you're shooting and you're holding and you're making little hold offs and then one goes down here. Well, the idea with safe sighting is that if you have a wind that's doing this and then it picks up and then it comes back down and it picks up, that you are kind of over holding so that you are biasing this side of the target. And the theory is that if you can sort of bias this side of the target rather than thinking of hitting here, you think about hitting here. And the reason is that bad wind calls are more likely to end up downwind traditionally than they are upwind. You just think, I don't want to hit anything over here. I want it to all be over here. You have to kind of mentally change. You almost have to say, well, I'm going to move my center to wherever. Like it depends on the wind. Like you might say, well, this is my new center point. Maybe right 1 or right 2 or right 1.5 is my new center. So you're mentally moving your entire ring over a little bit so that the shots are all over here in this area. You can see if you see guys. So like if you're scoring for somebody who's a good shooter, and you'll see, like, especially if it's windy, like if it's dead calm, sure, I'll hold center and I'll lose shots on both sides. Like it's going to happen. But if there's wind, you can tell if somebody's safe siding because everything's going to be on one side of the target. So it's all going to be upwind. Typically, it's all going to be upwind. So if you see a wind and it's moving and it's going up and it's down, or maybe there's some angle changes or whatever, if they're safe siding, you're going to see it all over here. Now, not everybody's safe sides. That's not everybody's strategy to do. There are plenty of people who want to keep it centered up and they'll accept highs and lows on both sides. But that's what safe siding is. So hopefully that helps answer that for you, Brendan. Somebody had been asking me about SDs and ESs, and I can't tell you that this is the only answer. I'm just going to tell you from my perspective and how I view things. I can shoot a 20 shot string. And if my ESSDs are, well, if my ES is under 20 and my SDs are single digits on a 20 shot, I know everything's working right. It means my brass prep's good. My seating force is good. Like all of that stuff's good. I don't spend any more time trying to get it to 15, then to 13, then to 11. But the truth of it is, and other people will tell you this, is that by and large, reducing those numbers below a certain point do not translate correspondingly to group size on target. Yes, you need to have good SD, and yes, you need to have good ESs, and whichever measurement you want to use, you do need to have good numbers. But what's most important to me is that I have all sub 20s. So every night, every Tuesday night when I shoot, I watch my numbers. Okay, 17, 15, 12, whatever it is. And I'm like, great. I know my ammo's working right. Velocities are good. Good. SDES is going to be an indication of brass pep and powder and a bunch of other stuff. But if you're getting good numbers, like I know people, I'll just give you an example. I know people who have had like, let's call it a 1 minute group with on 5 or 10 shots where the ES or SD is like low single digits, 5, 6, whatever it is on 5 or 10 shots. And the group's big. And I've seen that same person shoot a 2 inch group with an ES of 20. Let's see. Then he says, do you still load CCI 200s? Oh yeah. I mean, I got boxes of them. So, this is, like, just so nobody questions it. Like, there you go. CCI 200s. Um, that's what I've shot for a long time now. I'm really happy with them. I have buddies that shoot GM 210s or 210s or, some form of federal. They're really happy. I don't have the money to spend on BR2s. I just can't, I can't afford it. I mean, I pay full price for primers like everybody else. So, um, it's expensive when you can find them. So, for me, the 200s have just been, for the last couple of years, the most cost effective option. And I honestly haven't seen any issues. Now, I know that there's testing that shows the Federals are probably a little more consistent. Um, but 200s are what I had, 200s are what I keep buying, and 200s are what my gun knows how to shoot right now. So, yeah, that's what excuse me, that's what I'm shooting. Uh, and I've talked about this before, but if you are still in a crunch, I still use it to this day. If you are trying to find primers, bullets, powders, components, stuff like this, I talk about it all the time. If you are not signed up on Shooting Bot and you are trying to find components, you need to get on Shooting Bot because it is it's the fastest way to find stuff. And yes, I know people keep joining it. That doesn't change the fact that it's still the fastest way to find out who's got stuff. My buddy just bought, I think he was able to get a case of 200s from Powder Valley. I think it was Powder Valley. They posted up like a week ago. He's been looking forever. I keep getting reports, and as soon as it popped up, I sent it to him, and he was able to buy them. So it's a really good way to go. As always, I appreciate everybody that showed up here, and obviously anybody who's watching this later. I appreciate all the calls. Todd, you had a lot of really great questions. A lot of great questions were posted when I first put up the other one. And, just as always, I'm super grateful for everybody being here. I hope that whatever I'm doing is helping you guys improve and get what you want out of your shooting. And I will leave you with this thought. If you are a competitor and you are shooting, I'll say F class because it's what I'm familiar with, and you're trying to find a way to know if you are making strides in the sport, I would challenge you to not look at winning, but instead, did you shoot your classification? And to me, that's what I've used as a metric for a long time is if I go, I'm a high master. So did I shoot a 98% or above? And if I did, then at least if something else went wrong, I still shot my classification. If you are working your way up and you make high master, great, or you make master, whatever it is, but are you continuing to do that? And I think it's a really good way to look at what are you doing? Are you holding what you've done? And are you improving? So, like nationals, if I remember right, nationals long range, I botched my first relay, as you guys know, really bad, first one. It took me out of everything. I worked my ass off to get back. And even after everything that happened, I finished like 30th, but you know what? I still shot my classification. So at least I'm pretty sure I did, if I remember right. Um, and so to me, that's still a success. So, try to think of a way to look at things like that so that when you go out, you have a legitimate way of measuring your success, your plateaus, and, if you are trending downward for some reason, why. So anyway, have a good one. Get out and shoot, guys. We'll talk later.